So I'm super excited that we've got our first keynote speech. Um, it's productive failure. It's, to be honest, it's the core of our pedagogical approach. We believe that this is a very essential skill that the students should have. So, productive failure, a path to higher self-esteem, will be presented by Eleftheria Kallinikou. She's a psychologist. Um, she graduated from the Department of Physiology at the University of Crete and completed postgraduate studies in social psychiatry and child psychiatry at the University of Vienna. A lot of terminology. Alongside her studies, she participated in the Pythagoras research program of the University of Vienna. She actively participates in research related to mental health services and has worked as a psychologist since 2002, providing counseling and psychotherapy to adults and children. Um, so I've got a video for you. Oh, I'm gonna show the video, Lynn, first. So I wanna show everybody the one of the events that me and Eleftheria collaborated. She was supporting our transgendering on campus uh, at the University of Ioannina, and we've got a short video.
Αυτές τις 7 μέρες το παιδί μου έρχονταν στο σπίτι χαρούμενο, μετά από μια πολύ δύσκολη χρονιά, μετά από μια σχολική χρονιά, γυρνούσε στο σπίτι με περισσότερες πληροφορίες, τις οποίες επεξεργαζόταν.
Παλιά δεν μου άρεσε η πληροφορική, αλλά τώρα πλέον μου αρέσει, γιατί πέρασε πολύ ωραία.
Όλα ήταν το ένα καλύτερο από το άλλο, θα έλεγα.
Αυτό που ήθελα να πω είναι πως τέλειο. Δηλαδή σου είναι μια ωραία αίσθηση και η ημέρα κυλούσε πιο ωραία.
Η εμπειρία αυτή για μένα ήταν πρωτόγνωρη, επειδή στην Άρτα δεν έχουμε τις δυνατότητες που μπορεί να βοηθούσε κάποια άλλη πόλη. Κάνουμε πετάγματα που μπορούσαμε να κάνουμε το άλλες συνθήκες. Οι καθηγητές ήταν εκπληκτικοί.
Μια πάρα πολύ ωραία εμπειρία που θα συνηθίσω οπωσδήποτε.
Μου άρεσε πάρα πολύ ο τρόπος με τον οποίο γίνονται τα μαθήματα.
Χαιρόμουν που έβλεπα το κορίτσι μου να γυρνάει χαρούμενο στο σπίτι και ενθουσιασμένο.
Okay, so we had a great collaboration with Eleftheria at this event. She was super supportive to all the students, and there she is to tell us more about productive failure. So I invite Eleftheria on the floor. Welcome, and the floor is yours.
Oh, hello everybody. Thank you very much, Stamatis, for the introduction. Always feel so emotional when I watch this video. We put so much effort, all of us, to make this happen. It was an amazing week for all of us, and I really hope to can repeat this year again. Uh, do you hear me well? Is my sound okay? Can I go on? I think yes. Hmm? Okay, so I'm Eleftheria Kallinikou. As Stamatis told, I'm a PhD psychologist, and I'm working in two cities, Ioannina and Arta, where I direct the Center for Psychological Support of Children, Teenagers, and Adults. Over there, we offer several services such as psychotherapy, group therapies, personality assessment, intelligence assessment, as well as assessment for learning disabilities, and we provide specific intervention for all of this. Apart from the everyday clinical routine with the youth, we always have in mind to organize activities to motivate them and improve their abilities and social skills. Our meeting with Stamatis Dragomanos back in 2020 was based on this common wish to support the children's desire to get involved in interesting activities and gain knowledge, but also to get habits that help them evolve as they grow as individuals and shape their personalities. Today, at the beginning, I would like to talk for a little about the framework of failure and the way that it is perceived in our times. What I have observed from my experience at work is that failure is something to be avoided. Specifically, parents often trying to safeguard their children from negative feelings. This notion makes them overprotective. They try to avoid anything but success, and when failure comes, it is not faced as an occurrence that will allow the children to learn by their mistakes. Failure is handled as a negative situation as if they run out of chances. Failure has historically been as a bad thing, as an indication of something less, lack of planning, or even incapacity. We are frequently trained only to celebrate success, to conceal our errors, and to avoid failure at all costs. The truth is that failure is a necessary step on a path to success, not the antithesis of it. A whole new world of opportunities becomes available when we change the way we think and begin to view failure as a teaching moment. We start to accept failure as a normal aspect of the process of progress rather than fearing it. We can learn important lessons from failure, such as resilience. We learn how to get back and try again after every setback. Self awareness. We are forced to consider what went wrong and why when we fail. These very important points, both of them. And when something doesn't work, we have to think critically about how to fix or approach it differently the next time. This is known a problem as a problem solving skills. We must change our perspective from one that is a failure avoidant to one that is growth oriented in order to reframe failure. This entails viewing failure as a necessary component of learning rather than as the end result. Every time you fail, you're starting from experience rather than from the beginning. Your future success is based on the lessons you've learned from the past mistakes. Separating our value from our shortcomings is one of the most difficult tasks. We frequently absorb failure as a reflection of our identity. I must a failure. I must be a failure because I failed, we believe. However, this could be more untrue. The main point is failure is not a person, it's an occurrence. We're not defined by it. Rather, it's something that occurs to us. So failure is unavoidable, and as we have stated. However, developing resilience rather than avoiding failure is the secret to improve ourselves. The capacity to recover from setbacks, adjust to difficult situations, and continue on is resilience. Similar to a muscle, it gets stronger the more we use it. Being resilient means gaining from setbacks rather than simply surviving them. There is a reason why resilience is crucial for self esteem. Resilience is absolutely necessary for elevating self worth. It's simply to cut up in a vicious cycle of self doubt and critical self talk when we fail. Resilience, however, aids in ending that loop. When it comes to resilience, failure is one of the best instructors. The ability to deal with the disappointment without allowing it to control us is a skill that comes from failure. Failure forces us to consider our options in a creative and critical way. Over time, we become less sensitive to failure and grow thicker as a result of the emotional anguish of failure. I would also like to refer to 5 basic steps to building self esteem through failure. Self awareness is the initial component of self esteem. This is the cornerstone of knowing your identity, your strengths, and your areas of difficulty. Being self aware entails knowing your advantages and disadvantages without passing judgments. Self awareness enables you to view failure as a feedback on certain behaviors or areas for growth rather than as a reflection of your whole self. The second fundamental element is acceptance on self. This entails accepting who you are. It all comes down to accepting that you are a work in progress, and that's okay. Self acceptance is crucial to how we respond to failure. We are less prone to feel defeated by failure when we accept who we are. No achievement or failure defines who we are. Competence and mastery are another essential component of self esteem. This speaks to your capacity to learn new things and become an expert in things that are important to you. Your self esteem rises when you do anything, no matter how small, because you're showing yourself that you can overcome any difficulty. Practice and effort are the foundation of competence, and your sense of mastery grows with each attempt. Setback, lesson learned, and improvement which directly boost your self esteem. The development of self-esteem also depends on purpose. We have a reason to keep on trying through mistakes and losses when we have a feeling of purpose. Motivation comes from having a purpose, and our feeling of self-worth is more consistent when we are a part of something greater than ourselves. Failure becomes less about personal defeat and more about learning as we work towards a goal when we will connect our efforts to something worthwhile. Social connection is the last building block. Our relationships with other people have a significant impact on how we establish our sense of self worth. Being surrounded by upbeat, encouraging individuals can help us feel better about ourselves, especially when we are struggling. Supportive connections serve as a reminder that, despite our failures, we are appreciated and accepted. When our self esteem suffers, these relationships assist us in regaining perspective. Our conclusion is that you may build a solid foundation for positive self esteem that can face the high and the lows of failure by concentrating on these 5 essential components: self-awareness, self-acceptance, competence, purpose, and social connection. Developing self-worth is an ongoing process, and failing is necessary step rather than a roadblock. Now let's watch 2 short videos of 2 very well-known individuals talking to us about their experience with failure before the success. Let's watch them.
I'm wondering what would be the single most valuable piece of advice you'd give us to even attempt to create some of the value that you guys have done in both your very impressive companies.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion.
This was the first, and now let's go to the second video.
A mere 7 years after my graduation day, I had failed on an epic scale. An exceptionally short-lived marriage had imploded, and I was jobless, a lone parent, and as poor as it is possible to be in modern Britain without being homeless. The fears that my parents had had for me and that I had had for myself had both come to pass. And by every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I knew. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that failure is fun. That period of my life was a dark one, and I had no idea that there was going to be what the press has since represented as a kind of fairy tale resolution. I had no idea then how far the tunnel extended, and for a long time, any light at the end of it was a hope rather than a reality. So why do I talk about the benefits of failure? Simply because failure meant a stripping away of the inessential. I stopped pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I really succeeded at anything else, I might never have found the determination to succeed in the one arena where I believed I truly belonged. I was set free because my greatest fear had been realized, and I was still alive, and I still had a daughter whom I adored, and I had an old typewriter and a big idea. And so rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. You might never fail on the scale I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. Failure gave me an inner security that I had never attained by passing examinations. Failure taught me things about myself that I could have learned no other way. I discovered that I had a strong will and more discipline than I had suspected. I also found out that I had friends whose value was truly above the price of rubies. The knowledge that you have emerged wiser and stronger from setbacks means that you are, ever after, secure in your ability to survive. You will never truly know yourself or the strength of your relationships until both have been tested by adversity. Such knowledge is a true gift.
A really touching confession Really, really touching, rather than a speech by the writer of Harry Potter. And now let's move on to our experience. Let me share this wonderful story with you and how I saw all the above in practical through the IEEE workshops. Before 4 years, we decided to implement our very first workshop titled The Electrical Signal in the Past and Now, through the presentation of a veteran who handled the radio transmitter in cargo ships using the Morse code. The old man shared his experience when he had to transmit SOS to get help in a rough weather condition and managed to save the crew in that critical moment. The children were instantly engaged in his story, and later on he showed a replica of the device he used during these voyages. Despite the fact that the children had no idea of the function of the device or even of the alphabet coding the Morse code, they started experimenting on its use, and subsequently, with minor guidance, they started texting short messages to each other or typing their names. On my side, the enthusiasm of the children, but even more, their certainty regarding their capabilities to manage an unknown device was the best sign that self-confidence can grow in themselves as long as they believe in themselves and feel confident that any aim can be reached. Of course, this was just a moment of realizing what plenty of other professionals in the field already know. Take, for example, the research of Manu Kapoor of the National Institute of Education of the Technological University of Singapore. He wrote that finding shows that the prospective value learning design is more effective in development conceptual understanding and transfer than in a direct instruction design. It also findings suggested that despite looking like falling in their problem-solving efforts, productive failure students significantly outperform direct instruction students on well-structured or complex problems. Anyway, there is a plenty of literature regarding to the benefits of productive failure, especially in the conceptual understanding in several sectors such as maths, STEM, or problem solving. Back to our experience. Since then, we organized several other related workshops using the IEEE expertise on the sector, specifically the workshops. Also, I'll share some pictures with you. The electrical signal in the past and now, the man that I told you with the device, the stomachs with the Morse alphabet, the pop cycle bridge, one of the very favorite of children workshop, the tall tower challenge, the rubber band racers. This it was our last workshop. The build your own robot arm. This is the really very favorite workshop of the children, the most favorite of them. And at the end, 3D printing by hand. A really good workshop. For all of these workshops, we used lessons plans provided by Try Engineering as well as the related material. In all these workshops that have taken place, the enthusiasm of the children was impressive. In this time interval, we realized that the children that participated at least in one workshop expressed their willingness to participate in all the forthcoming events, which indicates a form of commitment to our workshops. We come to the conclusion that the children do not only wish to participate to have fun, they have developed a rather positive attitude towards this way of thinking and wish to exercise it more often. They wish to be in contact with this problem-solving procedure. As an expert, I can definitely say that this workshop has significantly contributed to the elevation of the children's self-esteem. They are more confident, more willing to struggle against each challenge, and more resilient. Throughout these workshops, the children learn to be persistent and not willing to give up. The most important is that they are not afraid to share their ideas and they are not afraid to admit that their teammates maybe have a better approach to the common problem they face. The children become more resilient, afraid to fail or try again. They don't see failure as a final result, but as a beginning of another change to reach their goal. Another important fact that we observe is that children often wish to bring along their friends as well. This eventually made the IEEE workshops very popular in the city of Arta. Their social side was also enhanced, and in each time a new workshop was about to take place, former participants will often ask if they could invite friends to take part in the workshops. The children also became supportive to the members of their teams as well. Their attitude was inclusive for all members and solidarity was evident. The children never made fun of any of other attitude and developed respect for different ideas. Another important aspect that was observed during these workshops was the parents' attitude. Talking to them about their experience at the IEEE workshops, they claimed that they were impressed by the way their children focused on this problem, but also by their willingness to collaborate with their teammates and also to obey the rules regarding the procedures to be followed. A lot of parents say to us, a honest thank you because their children really feel more happy and confident after the workshops. We also happened to have significant feedback from teachers. It's characteristic that one of them expressed she was positively impressed by the obedience the students showed during the workshop. Impressive. It's not usual to have such attitude in the classroom anymore, she admitted. At the end, I would also like to stress out that there was actually no reward. The children struggled to reach their goal to compete the other teams to get to the most efficient solution just because they gained pleasure out of it. There really was no reward for them apart from the certificates of participation or the result of their effort. Last year, we had the idea to take this experience one step further. Stamatis Ragoumanos came in contact with the Department of Informatics and Telecommunication of the University of Ioannina, which is located in Arta, and in collaboration with local authorities and professionals, we organized a 7-day summer school dedicated to engineering through productive failure. Before I get to the most important part regarding the emotion and experience of the children, let me tell you a few words about the courses that took part during this Try Engineering on Campus summer school. The courses was first Arduino Blink. All these pictures are from that courses and from the classrooms at the universities. 3D printing, augmented reality. This is our psychologist workshop. My feelings about productive failure. I enjoyed it very much. And AI neural networks. Our experience during time engineering was fully educative. Certain problems that the children face were challenging even for many adults, as for example, the Arduino workshop. Despite the fact it seems rather difficult in the beginning, the children took the time to try several solutions and all of them managed to succeed. To our surprise, the specific activity turned out to be their favorite one. It could not be a lie to say that some teenagers said they already felt they were engineers for real and rather successful too. This feeling of managing to achieve a goal was something that we experienced every day during that week. Children that always found the solution and were very satisfied from their collaboration despite the difficulties they were facing in the beginning. Let's move on to listen to the testimonies of some participants and volunteers of the 7 days project. We'll start with the first participant, a teenager, 15 years old.
Hello, my name is Meika and I'm 15 years old and I participated in Try Engineering on campus the last summer. We took part in several courses and had to solve some really difficult problems. We were separated in small groups and the target was to cooperate in order to solve the problems. At first, it was very challenging for us and had many difficulties, but we tried more and more and it became easier and really fun. I enjoyed very much working in groups and trying to understand how others think. Sometimes in the beginning, we failed to overcome a difficulty, but trying again and again, not giving up, made us more confident and finally successful. I had a great time there on campus and I made so many new friends. I also had the opportunity to learn exciting new stuff.
Thank you. And now let's to the video to go on with the video with the volunteers. Two volunteers. We've got two volunteers here. Let's listen to them.
My name is Eleftheria Kallinikou and I participated as a volunteer in Try Engineering on campus of Arta. It was a very nice experience from which I learned a lot. As an expert, I can definitely say that these workshops have significantly contributed to the elevation of children's self-esteem. They are more confident and more resilient. The most important thing is that they're not afraid to share their ideas with their teammates and they're not afraid to admit that sometimes their teammates may have better solutions or better approaches to the common problem that they face. Also, throughout these workshops, children learn to be persistent and not to give up, but to try and fail and try again, because they don't see failure as the final result, but as an opportunity to reach their goal. All in all, both volunteers and children were in good mood. They didn't want to leave campus, and they definitely want to participate again next year.
My name is George Dimakopoulos, and I was a volunteer in the 7-day workshop at Try Engineering on campus that took place in Arta in a collaboration with the University of Ioannina. And it was clearly a wonderful experience for everyone who participated, but not just because the things that we got to see in practice, but because we got to realize how beneficial productive failure can be. There are actually two things that I would like to focus on. The first is the way that the children collaborated together in groups. They had a clear target to reach. They had to reach to a solution and think of the best way to do it. So they collaborated smoothly, productively, with respect to each other's views, to different views. And the second thing is that they embraced the effort, really. Through fruitful collaboration, they became supportive to each other. They learned not to give up. They learned to keep on trying, and they learned that failing is not something to be ashamed of. They learned, and it is not something to fear. It is something that it is a necessary step if someone wants to reach a goal. So, on my behalf, a great applause for everyone who was involved in organizing this event. I hope that it will happen again in the near future, and I would definitely like to be a part of it again.
Thank you all. Heading to the end of this presentation, I really like to make special references to Stefanos and Marietta, two of the teenagers that participate to the train engineering on campus. Stefanos is 15 years old with Asperger syndrome in the spectrum of autism with some emotional and behavioral problems, and he participated in the context of the education inclusion. Let's watch the video by his father.
It was the first time Stefanos took part in such an event, and he was very thrilled to participate. Every time he returned home after the daily activities, even when the hours and the schedule were very taxing, he wanted to inform us in detail about all the activities he did during the day, and mostly about the fun he had doing them. We, on the other hand, were mostly interested in his change of character, how mature he was becoming in such short period of time, and mostly the constant smile on his face. He told us about the time he spent studying in a group and finding solutions to problems as part of a team. He was very excited to be part of something greater than himself and to contribute equally to actual working solutions to problems that were very difficult to tackle alone. He learned through the failure management course that something that most of us spent most of our lives to figure out, that failure is not the end, but only the best pathway to find solutions to problems, better solutions, and to reach a successful outcome in every aspect of our lives. But foremost, I think that what he took out of the program was the ability to manage and control his anxieties as a person and overall to handle himself better, especially in an environment of his peers.
Thank you, Stefanos, very much. I'm really proud for that guy, really proud. I almost started crying when I saw him with the team to the presentation course. And now about Marietta. She's a girl, 14 years old. She suddenly lost her daddy the previous year, and this summer she participated in the train engineering on campus with some of her friends. At first, she had a very good connection with all the teammates, but when it came to the group presentation, she had some disagreement with two of the girls in her team, and she wanted to give up. The volunteers tried to help her, to calm her down, but they finally chose to ask the psychologist help. And I was the psychologist that day. I had a talk with her and analyzed the problem, and together we managed to overcome. By the time she got up to present her work, she was very confident, and with her team, they did a very great job. At the end, I asked her how she felt while presenting and if she would have felt better if she had not participated. She replied that she felt very sure about herself. It was a really good experience because at the end she learned not to give up and achieve her goal. Marietta and Stefanos, it's for me all the teenager. I loved all this week. It was maybe the best week of my summer, but Marietta and Stefanos are my favorite only because they tried, I think, double than all the others. So, the last video from me, it's a video for this amazing 7 days on train engineering on campus. Let's watch this.
I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. All my friends are turning green. emotions assistant in their dream. Oh, oh, and they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. It's this movie that I think you like. This guy decides to quit his job and head to New York City. This cowboy's running from himself, but she's been living on the highest shelf. Oh, and they come unstuck. Lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. I just wanna know if you're gonna stay. I just gotta know. I can't have it any other way. I swear she's destined for the screen. Closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Oh, lady, running down to the riptide, taken away to the dark side. I wanna be your left-hand man. I love you when you're singing that song, and I got a lump in my throat, cause you're gonna sing the words wrong. Yeah. I got a lump in my throat, cause you're gonna sing the words wrong.
Before I close, I should mention that we have sorry. Before we closing up, I should mention that we have already planned the next workshop that will take place on the 10th of November. The most strange part and our new experiment is that the children that participated in the Try Engineering on Campus will be there as volunteers to help the new members. Thank you very much for your time and for your attention. Thank you.
All right.
Stamatis. Nice videos, huh?
Yeah, great.
Really emotional moments.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I'll try not to cry and read the questions for you. So we've got a question.
Okay, we have 10 minutes.
Lots of resources on growth mindset in the K-12 and college. I do like the term growth mindset than productive failure. Have you thought of using that? By Joanne.
I don't hear you very well, actually. Maybe I can read from the.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the message okay? Let me. Okay. I would like team growth mindset. I don't like that. Sorry, because I don't hear it at all. What's okay? If I understand well, is that they prefer to use the growth mindset at the college. I hear about this. I'm not. Look, there are a lot of scientific orientation for this. We choose productive failure. Of course, I know in a lot of instituted colleges they do they go with this model. But to be true, no, I don't using that, and I don't have very deep learning about this, knowledge about this.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. But that failure is a strong word, and I don't know, growth mindset
No,
might
yes, I think that I said that the failure is not something that we have to avoid. Failure is
absolutely.
the step to learn to go more deep. Failure is not. I think that I already answered to the question in my presentation. We don't have to be overprotective with failure. We don't have to try to protect our children from the fear of failure. In my work, I already told this, I saw a lot of every day. I advise to the parents, don't make a world full of lies to your children. Your children, the life is cruel. When the children go out of the house, out of the safety of their house, they are going to face really hard situation. So failure, when you build a supportive framework around the children, is not bad. The negative feelings are not bad. Our soul becomes more strong, like muscles, when we face bad feelings. For example, Marietta in engineering this year lost her daddy. Life is full of so hard moments. We cannot protect from the bad and the push and the nice feelings are all our feelings, not either not good or bad feelings. I think that am I clear to my answer? I think.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
What strategies do you use to turn failures into learning opportunities?
What? Sorry. What?
Strategies do you
Okay.
use?
Okay. I mean, to the our work, or you mean the universities? I mean,
When
in my
you're working with
look,
children, what strategies do you use to turn failures into learning opportunities?
look. First, we have a purpose for example, we have to make the bridges, for example, or I have. No, I'll try to use another exam for my job. For example, one very violent and one teenager with violence. I try first to talk about what will happen if he cannot change his behavior, and to what will happen to his life, what punishment, what he's going to lose. So, one, I try to explain. The second, we try to make them face the reality. They have the punishment, and I asked from him to make her self-criticism and to to create to grow the self-awareness. And after I try to be the supporting framework for him or her. I think that the steps. First, you have to explain, then let to choose. And in the next step is the self-criticism and the self-awareness.
Okay, great. Thank you. What's your go-to motivation for staying positive?
Sorry, what is?
Your go-to motivation for staying positive.
My motivation. I did,
Yeah. What do
what,
you do to motivate kids to stay positive? What are the
I'm living
essential?
positive. I think that did I don't understand very well the question. Sorry. Uh, I try to show I'm trying to show the positive aspects and not only I try to make them to understand that all the feelings are their feelings. I try to make them to accept themselves, to accept the bad and the good points. We're not only full of very good points. We're very we have a lot of aspects. So, if we accept our aspects, I think that we accept ourselves. And if we accept ourselves, we can be positive. And if we understand that we don't, it's not the problem of the others, but it's the problem of ourselves, how we live and how we feel. It's not coming from the others. It's coming from our soul. I try to see that the bad and the good is together in life. There is no perfect life. There is perfect days, perfect moments, but not perfect days or perfect lives. It's life and happiness is small moments, and we have to enjoy this.
Okay, great.
Good thing to improve this confidence. Oh. Can I read this? I guess that is to
I think we've
boost.
already answered this
Oh
one.
yes, I think that I have already answered this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, where to download? One good. How to handle the sudden failure? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
This one? Huh?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This okay. I think that is a very difficult point. I mean, the sudden failure is the unexpected failure is something very stressful. But if somebody can generalize the way of working with his emotions, I think that can be ready for this. The only in life there is no I don't remember the word now. We're not so sure for everything, and we cannot control everything. If we understand that we cannot control, we're just a small piece in this galaxy. We can expect sudden bad things, bad moments, failures. So, if we are very strong inside, if we make very good work with ourselves, with our souls, to make our soul more strong, we can face all these difficulties and all these sudden failures.
Okay, great, great.
Ayun.
There are a lot of questions. We probably won't be able to answer all of them, but we will try to download them and get back to you by email.
Okay.
Because yeah, we only got 2 minutes. Would you like to comment the poll results? Let me show them on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
We asked our audience, in your experience, how often do you feel that failure has led to a positive outcome? And these are the results. What do you think?
Paul, okay, in your experience, how do you feel that the failure? Me. Okay, okay. I have to vote. I have to.
Yeah, just comment on this. Is the participants are voting? These are the results. So, what is your comment about that? Some of them, like 7%, said that they rarely feel that failure has led to a positive outcome, and like 16%.
I don't see anything. I just know, in your experience, how often do you feel that failure has led to your positive outcome?
You don't see the results.
No, 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 no. Always, often, sometimes, really, never. No.
You don't see the numbers on the. So
No, no, no,
I'll
no.
describe
Sorry,
it.
sorry. That's why. No, no.
Okay, let me tell you. 16% says that they always feel that the failure has led to a positive outcome. almost 45% often. 30% sometimes, and 8% that rarely feel that the failure has led to a positive outcome. I mean, I would like a comment for always and rarely, the two extents.
How much? How was the rest? Always.
Oh, and there's a 2% that they never feel. They feel that that failure has never led to a positive outcome. 2% feels that.
2% to never.
8% rarely, and
Yes.
15% always, and the other ones like are in between.
Very positive, I think. No, I don't. Positive. Two is 2% is never. Huh? Oh, no, I don't agree with it. Huh? It's the house. Stamatis house always.
Almost 16%.
16. Okay, I agree with this also thing. If I understand well this poll. Productive failure. Oh, productive failure. It's not. I don't know why it's so down. Huh? Maybe it's something that we have to try more.
Okay, so our time is up. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you.
For it's an honor for us to have you at the STEM Summit.
Okay, I can send the presentation by email if you like.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.